guys, today I just wanted to give a quick lesson on learning the note names, particularly focusing on C major, which is all the natural notes in the fretboard. Natural notes meaning no sharps, no flats. That would be just the white keys on the piano: C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. Alright, so these are some of the shortcuts or some of the tips that I have used to develop my understanding of the fretboard over the years. So number one, you've probably already done this, but if you haven't, learn the open strings, because the open strings are your starting point for everything. That's where our notes begin from. So the first open string is E, next one is A, D, G, B, and then E again. So one little shortcut already that you can find there is that we have two E strings, your lowest string, lowest in pitch, and your highest string. So they're both called E, so any note that you memorize, any note that you learn on your bottom string will also apply to your highest sounding string. So we've already shortcutted our learning to 5 strings instead of 6, because these two are the same. Alright, the second step is to find the semitones on the fretboard. Now if we were piano players, that would be easy, because we could have a look at the piano and we could see that between E and F and between B and C there is no black key, there's nothing in between them, which means they're already 1 fret or 1 semitone apart. With guitar we don't have that luxury, because we just have a fretboard that we have to make sense of on our own. So we can use the knowledge of the piano and try to apply it to the guitar. Alright, so what does all that mean? It means any time you find yourself on an E or on a B, you're going to move 1 fret up. All the other times, any other note you hit, you move 2 frets. And that's going to get you through C major scale, just using those pointers. Alright, I've tabbed out the first one for you of what that would look like. I'm going to play it for you. It goes like this: E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. And we stop at the 12th fret. Alright, now you'll notice I started on an open E. My next note was 1 fret away, 0 to 1. Then I had some 2 fret movements, G, A, B, and then I hit a B, and so my next movement was 1 fret. And then another 2 fret movement, and then another 2 fret movement. And that brought me to the 12th fret. Alright, which brings me to point number 3 about the 12th fret. Why have we got this 12th fret here with 2 dots and the rest of them are different? That's because the 12th fret is your starting point again, what we talked about here. The 12th fret is called the octave, which means that it's the same note as the open string. So if this is E, A, D, G, B, E, so is this. Right? And also the dots that represent 3, 5, 9, also up here we have the same series of repeating dots: 3, 5, 9. So anything that you learn and memorize down this part of the neck, try to visualize and memorize it as being exactly the same here. I always just kind of look at this as a mini guitar, or a smaller version of the first 12 frets. I'll give you an example. So the way I'm seeing that is that that's the 3rd fret, that's the 3rd fret, those notes are the same. Okay, so now we've shortcutted our learning once again by trying to just visualize octaves, and the guitar is 2 separate groups of octaves. Alright, so once you're comfortable with those steps, try learning 1 string at a time, like I just showed you with the E. Then you can try grouping maybe 2 strings together at a time. Just little things like that, like make up exercises, make up groupings, anything that you want to work on. If you want to work on your speed picking, do something that's going to be constructive for your left hand, your right hand, and your brain as well. Alright, so step 4 was combine strings and look for scales. So once we have this knowledge of the fretboard, we can try to make a bit of sense of it and use this knowledge to build scales. So what scales can we build out of the white notes? Well, the white notes are C major, so we can build a C major scale. We can also build the modes, or the other scales that live within this key. So there's actually 7 of them. A minor, G mixolydian, and so on. So if you can start connecting these and stringing them all together, you'll be able to see the modes and see the individual notes and not necessarily have to think so much about what scale am I playing, because you'll see the fretboard for what it is, one big open landscape for you to play around with. Alright, the last step here. Once you've pretty confident that you've mastered that, or you've got a good grasp on C major scale, and you're seeing all the white notes on the fretboard, then it makes sense to progress to the other keys. It doesn't make any sense to progress to them if you haven't mastered this, because if I tell you to play an F sharp and you don't know where F is, you're lost, or automatically you're one step behind. So master these white notes, master the C major scale, then we're going to start progressing into the other keys. So the other keys involve sharps and flats. A sharp is to take a note a semitone up, a flat is to take a note a semitone down. So the first 2 other keys I would suggest you look at are G major and F major. That's because they only involve one change to this thing which we've learned and we're comfortable with. Alright, so with G major, the one change is all your Fs become F sharps. So that moves our semitone formula around a little bit. B and C are still the same. E and F will no longer be a semitone apart, because the F will have moved up to F sharp. So that leaves us with a semitone now here and here. So G major looks like this if we go one string at a time. Next one is F major, and that involves a B flat. So that's taking all of these B's and moving them down one semitone, which means your semitone formula, this stays the same. This is no longer a semitone apart, and the semitone is now here between A and B flat. Looks like this. Alright guys, I know that's a lot of information to take in, but just go step by step, practice slowly, and hope that opens up the fretboard a little bit for you. Good luck. Cheers.